episode 2.
With the amount of time
Special guest,
keeps getting, like,
Lukas in the back. Everybody wants to know, how's the boy? And we appreciate so many people praying from all over the world. It was Easter Saturday night, if that's a thing. And so lots of people praying for your boy. When we left off, we were talking about the 911 call. When Luke decided, you know what, this is too much. I'm calling 911.
I think maybe I decided.
Did you?
Yes, she did.
Wow,
I was like, that's what you need to do.
Mom, come over. I'm probably just a little sick.
Typical male.
Mm-hmm. Typical male response to 10 out of 10
to pain.
I can walk.
Anyways, thankfully Luke called 911 and the paramedics came and got him and took him to the best hospital in Toronto, Scarborough Grace. No comment. So that's really where the drama started, is when you guys showed up. I'm still in the garden because I'm like, oh well, Mom's gonna go help give him some Tylenol and he'll be fine. But I mean, calling 911 obviously is serious. Did Mom show up first at your place, or did the paramedics?
Paramedics, but only by a little bit.
Yeah, so it was a big...
Mom was pretty fast.
Mom is pretty reliable. You like Mom?
Yeah, I met them in the elevator, so basically I was fine. Yeah, so I think notes for next time would be to get on the stretcher.
Well, I didn't want to get on the stretcher because lying down did not feel
right,
good.
it hurt.
So that was like a positional choice to manage the pain.
Pain management.
Ideal position was fetal. Like half fetal.
Yeah, I remember.
So in the ambulance, it seemed like you were kind of okay.
Yeah, I felt fine in the ambulance. I was like, oh, this is going to be all a big, I just got some stomach bug or something that's making this bad.
Right. Yeah, because that's what you're thinking at that point, is your stomach hurts, you ate something.
Yeah, I'm like, I called because I started dripping sweat.
Oh yeah.
And probably having some kind of panic attack. So I was like, this is not good. I should get someone over here.
Right. Well, that was a good idea. Sorry we weren't quicker. We were in the garden.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, and it presented really weirdly because you weren't having pain on the right side. You were having pain kind of in the middle of your stomach.
Yeah, it was central.
And so it didn't tip us off right away that it was appendicitis. Although I think that the paramedics should have pushed on your stomach and found the spot.
Right.
Like, did they do that?
No.
Did they push? Like, because usually, if you're having abdominal pain, they'll be like, does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? And they'll pinpoint the different organs and push on them and then see when you yelp.
I think they pushed a little bit, but I also don't think it, the appendix didn't hurt as much.
So we must have maybe we got on it.
I think we got on it really fast.
Faster than most people.
That's good.
Is why maybe the
doctor said it didn't burst before we got
That was amazing. It didn't burst. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Because
the way we got it pretty early.
Yeah, but the way Mom was texting me, it was like you were going insane.
Oh, it was bad.
So you guys got to the hospital and then just got gradually worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Got to the hospital. I sat down in the waiting thing, and then it just went from it was 7 out of 10 on the way there, being this is uncomfortable. This is not great.
Right.
And then it was oh, I'm screaming, crying. I can't think right now.
Yeah.
Time sensitive. Look at that bungee.
Oh.
Castle. We were literally talking about that while we were on our way here to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go test out the boats.
Yeah, go for it.
A pit stop.
Right. So that's difficult when it gets worse and worse.
I don't think the pain could have got any worse. You know, your pain receptors get maxed out at a certain point, and then it's just.
Do they? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Well,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, because the times where I was crying was actually quite relieving, because I was I'm not feeling this. It's just those little respites.
Oh, terrible. Yeah, so we don't need to go into all the drama,
But a little bit of the drama. I think it's important because Haley, the nurse, does not get freaked out, and she was freaked out. So then when she's texting me like, say a prayer, I'm afraid, I'm like, okay, his appendix burst, his insides are getting barbecued. This is really bad, right? Because if your appendix bursts, then all the goop.
Yeah. Well, the paramedics had diagnosed him with like abdominal pain and basically severe gas.
So they didn't really hand him off to the hospital very well.
So they did not do a good job. So I had to show up behind the ambulance, realize that what they had decided was wrong with him wasn't the problem.
What's wrong?
And then I had to go around trying to find someone who would believe that he needed to be immediately admitted and taken care of.
Yeah.
Because he had gone downhill so fast after we arrived at the
Yeah, we do want all the drama. Come on, Mama. So Mama went crazy, Mama Bear. If you know Haley, she is the most appropriate, proper, polite person.
Woman.
And she's texting me F words and saying, this is insane, these people. So for an hour and a half, Lucas is screaming and crying, and Haley is basically stopping the doctors and saying, I am not moving until you help my son, right?
I did it.
This is Scarborough Healthcare.
Once I finally figured out who the heck the doctor was, because that takes time in a place like that. And then I just said, like, I'm standing here in your face and I'm not moving until you follow me down the hall and you see my son.
That is crazy.
And I don't really care.
For Haley to do that, it must
I
have
don't
been
care
serious. Now,
about
Luke,
what-
how were you feeling at the time? Were you blacking out or were you still conscious?
It was weird. The rest of my body is perfectly fine.
Right.
So it was like, oh, I have full clarity in my mind, which is almost worse because I can feel everything. There's no fogginess or anything. It's
right. Like some sicknesses, your head is kind of feeling weird and everything is like fuzzy.
But this was just like, you're just full pain.
Oh, max pain, go.
Just max pain.
Like Dune when he puts his hand in the thing.
I think so. I think that would be.
So Mama Bear went Mama Bear. Thank you very much. And we asked everybody to pray, and thank you for praying, because when Haley gets nervous, that means it's serious. So after that, then what happened? You put the doctor in a headlock and like brought him over and.
Have you ever seen those movies where like a parent with a sick child kidnaps?
Wow, at gunpoint.
Mom was getting close.
That was close.
I was right there. I was like, after more than an hour of screaming in like agony, and this is the boy that like
doesn't.
I can't even remember him doing much more than just like a grunt. Yeah. And so like I'm just like, I have never seen him like this. I cannot stop until someone gets over here and helps him. And it was just an hour and a half of nonstop, like finding people. Like I tried everything. Like in the end, I was just crying and begging. Like I didn't know who. Like if I saw someone was a nurse, I just like started begging them.
Yeah. And
it was an absolute like. Sorry for the language, but it was an absolute shit show in the emergency department.
Beep.
There was literally shit everywhere.
Beep.
It was
Mama,
just the
language.
worst thing I had ever seen. It was a war zone. It was a war zone.
It was pretty bad.
It was a war zone. There was.
Now, to be fair, Mom wasn't even begging for them to get me into surgery. They
It
were
was just like, give him something for the pain.
give me a Tylenol.
Give him something.
So anyways.
And also, I was like, his appendix is gonna burst if you all just ignore that this is happening.
Right.
I was so pissed off that they were like, someone's on their lunch break. I'm like, I don't care.
So
Yeah, our nurse was on his break, and they were like, sorry. I'm like,
I'm dying here. Sorry to interrupt your
sorry to interrupt
sandwich.
your shawarma.
So finally, what happened? The doctor came and gave him
The good stuff.
Yeah, they had to take
some morphine.
They had to take blood and they had to give IV morphine because of course
morphine.
if he's going to have surgery, they can't
Woo!
give anything by mouth.
IV morphine. How'd that go?
God bless the nurse who wasn't our nurse, but I
Shout out
literally
to the
begged.
nurse.
I cried and
She was
begged her,
awesome.
and
She was
she
very
was
good.
like, okay, I'm coming. And she came and hooked up the morphine, and then things got
That was it. Once
a
the
lot.
morphine was
Well,
morphed.
no, because then it's power puking, because the morphine
Yes.
makes
It
you
makes you nauseous.
immediately.
Oh, I see.
And they ran the morphine into his bloodstream in like,
They were going
it
fast.
was not a drip. It was it just ran into
Meow.
his vein.
Yeah.
Which,
So now I've got an addiction.
which is
Yeah, that's
Dang.
happened to Michael Jackson, right?
what.
Addicted to painkillers.
No.
Pray for
We
Luke.
shouldn't joke about it. It's actually
It's
a
a thing that
serious
happens.
thing for people who
It's a
get in
serious issue.
accidents.
But
But
Hey, the bell's ringing on the
oh yeah,
church.
church bells are ringing. That's
Okay, we're sweating.
good.
We're sweating here.
yeah, it's hot.
So,
Right.
anyways, they shot the morphine in, and then basically Lucas filled up 4
Ugh.
containers with his projectile vomiting.
Oh my goodness.
It was helpful because they needed me empty for the surgery. So
Yeah, actually, it did. It wasn't the worst thing. And the projectile vomiting was like a blessed relief after the pain, right?
oh
That
yeah,
was-
yeah. I was like, okay, I could just puke for a little bit and then I don't feel anything.
And then
Right.
after he did the
Puke test stick?
puking, then he just passed out because they had given him
Merciful.
they had given him Gravol as well as the morphine, and then he passed out. And
Merciful.
then-
I would have passed out without the gravel. I would.
yeah, you were so physically exhausted from the
Screaming for an hour and a half.
from that ordeal.
So and then what? They got a CT scan.
and then they
did a ultrasound.
yes,
first.
they did an ultrasound
Okay.
first because they were like checking for abdominal bleeding,
Yep,
and then
yep.
and then he went for his CT, and all that happened pretty quickly
Once they got the clue.
They got the clue of what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I finally got the doctor over to see him, then they understood like, oh,
this is serious.
we had like the wrong diagnosis, and this
Yeah, we have
is
to
a
get him
lot
into
more serious.
surgery.
Yeah. And then they were like, boom, 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 ultrasound, CAT scan, blood work, surgery
Right,
booked,
right.
and then we had to wait like an hour for the OR to get prepped.
I think it was more than an hour.
It seemed like more than an hour.
It was quite a
didn't
while.
it?
'Cause
Yeah.
I was outside the OR room. They're like, we're just getting the last stuff set up, and I'm like, okay, great. The morphine wore off half an hour ago, please.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I was like,
But-
please just put him under, and because you were getting pretty uncomfortable again by the time
It
you
was
went to
kind of bad.
surgery.
It wasn't
Um,
nearly as bad, but it was getting there.
It was getting.
And then
yeah.
what do you remember about the surgery? They just knocked you out and then you woke up with
I
no
laid down on the
appendix?
table, spread eagle like Jesus.
Okay.
Like the
Arms on both sides.
Oh,
Face down?
That's very easy.
No, no,
No,
face
face
up,
back.
face
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
And they hooked up my IV to something that I couldn't see, and then next thing I know, I was in the hallway, and they were like, "Oh, like."
Right.
I wasn't lucid until about 1:30 in the morning.
Do you remember seeing
wow.
us after your surgery?
I saw you. I was like in the bed. They told me to get into the other bed,
Right.
and then I saw you guys. I was like, hi, and then but I was like half there.
Yeah, you were not able. You weren't even able to speak actually. Like you just were like.
Yeah, it's strong stuff.
And they gave you more morphine or what?
No morphine for that. I to be honest, as soon as the surgery was over, I was like, oh, my thank the Lord. I'm
Thank
not
you,
in extreme
Lord.
pain anymore.
Well,
Just a little discomfort.
we put the word out at 9 p.m. and a couple hundred people, at least they put emojis in the chat that they were praying for you. I'm sure
Yeah.
they were.
There was a
but-
lot. The praying,
of praying
hand
hand
emoji
emojis.
got worn out.
I know. I woke up at 1 in the morning and I was just looking. I'm like, Dad, tagged you in a post. Someone commented on Dad's post. All these things.
That was when
Well,
you finally woke up.
thank you for
And
being
I was
willing.
sending out all the people I told them, like, hey, I'm in the OR.
So I think we left around 12:40 because you were like so comatose that we couldn't even wake you up if we wanted to. So we were like, I guess we should just.
I guess we're gonna go.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then now we have the prescription for Tylenol 3. So we'll be back with more. Was there any more to the story?
I
That's
I
it.
think that's the
This
end of the
morning.
story.
And then
I had some good hospital food.
Oh, how was the hospital food? Yeah.
They gave me French toast. I had French toast and a
That's
yogurt.
cool.
It was delicious.
Oh,
That's cool.
bless.
And
All right,
some
we're
pretzels.
going
Here, let me
in
help out here.
to get. No, we can all come in just a
We're
second.
not all coming in.
We're not?
I'm just gonna drop this off and then we'll take.
Oh,
a call.
okay. All right.
Yeah, they want to have it
I
ready.
don't think we need to all go in there.
I
That
see.
would be too much.
All right.
And say goodbye to our adoring
Yeah, well,
fans.
let's cut this. Thank you, everybody.
That beeping
Extremely-
sound is the sound of the
The
stream
stream
ending.
dying.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you for praying for this dear little boy, so many of you, and we'll be back with more later. Yes, I want to stop.